Hi, I'm Sharon Spangler. Welcome back to this Council Connection with Dave Aiazzi, and we've been talking about the Reno Aces and the new baseball stadium in downtown Reno. And I'd like to switch the subject now to talk about the second phase of that project. The City Council, acting as the redevelopment agency, just approved moving ahead with phase 2. Could you talk a little bit about that and why you felt that was such an important component to the Reno Aces Stadium?
Well, the second phase of baseball is obviously rejuvenating the area around baseball. It's not just supposed to be about baseball. They want to put restaurants and other things in the stadium itself that are actually on the street and in the stadium. So if you wanted to, while there's a game on, you could be in the restaurant watching the game, or when there's not a game on, you could just go there to be an entertainment district right there. So to move forward with that, we agreed to loan them some more money. We didn't give them anything, it's a loan to get them to move ahead more quickly on building those restaurants out there. They needed that in this economic times to get the bonding that they needed, to get the loan that they needed to go forward with these projects. And this is a group, they've already spent over $40 million of their own money on this project. The City of Reno hasn't given them any cash to do any of these things. There was some from the state. So I want people to be clear about that. There's a lot of confusion about the financing of this. The City of Reno, we did give them some land, and we did have to pay out some money to move the fire station, and I readily agree that we did that. But they didn't get any direct money from the City of Reno.
There was also a car rental tax.
Right. That was the biggest tax, and that came from the legislature approved that, and then the county had to approve that. The City of Reno had nothing to do with that tax.
Now, this part of what you were just talking about is that's going to come from redevelopment tax increment dollars?
Correct. When they build something, for instance, the baseball stadium, on July 1st, we anticipate that the assessor will start charging them $500,000 a year in property tax. So that's half of that $1 million that we've said that they could have to reinvest in their own product. So that's what's going to happen. And we hope that that moves forward quicker. We put some time restraints on there for the restaurants, because once the restaurants are built, that also raises the property tax they have to pay. So that's what's going to go to pay themselves back, is their own money that they're putting into the property tax.
Will the stadium eventually become property of the City of Reno?
Well, we hope not. As long as they have the team in there, and the team now has to stay here for 15 years, that will still, we own it actually, and they lease it back from us. So it's one of those complicated tax deal things, but the city actually does, or the redevelopment agency owns the stadium, but they have a long-term lease.
Okay. I know there's been a lot of misperceptions about that. The other question I had was, if money is going into phase 2 of the baseball stadium, how is that going to affect other redevelopment projects downtown?
Well, you certainly hope that once, if there gets to be that critical mass of people down around there, I know the fellows who purchased a bar on 4th Street 2 years ago, and they're very happy baseball came in.
I bet they are.
At the Lincoln Lounge. You know, it's right down the street. They sort of stumbled into it. So they'll probably clean up theirs a little bit more. They've done a great job over there right now, but that sort of helps out everything. And again, I'll point to what happened at the movie theater. All the small shops and stores that have cleaned up around there, where 10 years ago it wasn't like that at all, over just at that end of town. And now with the Whitewater Park, all of that came in because of the movie theater. That was what started it all, to get 250,000 people a year downtown. We hope this will bring in a lot more, and it will clean up. Property owners are in it for business, so if their property is worth more, we'll improve their properties and make it more money for them.
And I know that we're really expecting to get a lot of people coming from all over. I know we interviewed some people that are excited they're going to be coming down from Incline Village. I'm sure there'll be people coming from even the rural parts of Nevada to come into town and make it a weekend experience, go see some baseball games. But I can't emphasize how unique this is for downtown and for people that live and work and just love to come downtown and experience baseball. I think it's going to be fabulous.
Well, I think it builds on everything else we've been doing in downtown. I mean, the baseball stadium is on the river. I don't know if a lot of people know that, but there's a river path that we're creating.
A great seat on the mound there.
The river. Yeah.
Yeah.
But with just think of what you do have when you can invite people in. Is they might like baseball, but then the River Festival could be going on the same weekend to talk them into staying another weekend, to come down and watch the kayakers, or get in a kayak themselves on Saturday and go watch a game Saturday night. Art Town's coming up. To include those things, to make people want to stay longer. That is one of the goals also, to get people to re-see this area. People have been asking us to clean up that river for a long time, and I think we've been doing that, and that's another step. I mean, I want to remind people what got taken out there. There was an old motel that the county actually was renting for $10 a night for people with ankle bracelets on, that didn't have a home for house arrest. That's the kind of people who were down there right then. They were criminals, and that is gone now. It's got taken out. There's a Hyatt that might go next door. They've already got their financing, from what I understand, to build right there. So already it's taken hold and is starting to change that area significantly. I think just taking out some of those old motels has changed the area dramatically.
We're pretty lucky, I would think, in this community to have a project of that magnitude worth over $50 million when a lot of cities are really suffering.
Well, we've been very lucky in the past couple of years coming in. Unfortunately, the economy changed around. I mean, we've got, $170, $200 million in the Montage that came in. Here's another 50 or 60 million. I think locally it's really helped us out on the economic side for keeping those people at work. While I think that's part of why we haven't been hit so early with this. We've been able to put it off for a little while, but it's starting to hit us now with sales tax dropping down. But those things really help the people who live here, because that was done with the project labor agreement, which means it was almost entirely done by local workers who made prevailing wage on that job. So it put a lot of money into this economy.
And I think the stadium is going to employ, what, over 300 people?
I would assume so. I hope so. We'll see.
Well, it's exciting. There's 72 home games and lots of opportunities to still get tickets if you don't already have your tickets to the Reno Aces.
Yeah, and I think you should at least get the schedule. I think it's renoaces.com or something. But then tie that in with other things that are going on downtown. Pick out something at Art Town, or the Tour de Nez coming back downtown this year. It'd be great to do a Tour de Nez and then go over to watch baseball at the same time. That'd be a very nice day to have downtown Reno.
Great, thank you. I know what you're going to be doing this summer.
Oh, everything. I'm doing everything.
And thank you all for joining us on this Council Connection.